Welcome back to our At the Net segment. I'm Connor Onion. This week we're talking about the Missouri State Bears with head coach Stephen McRoberts, who's in his fourth season. Bears head into Valley play this week after winning two of their final three non-conference matches. Coach, welcome. How are things in Springfield?
It's going well. It's finally fall, so we love that around here. Getting the 70-degree weather is really nice compared to the hundreds. So, but as far as the team's going, all good. Looking forward to starting Valley play this week for sure.
Yeah, new season in a way beginning this week, like you mentioned with Valley play. Let's look back first. When you think about non-conference play, what makes you smile the most about how your team played in non-con?
Their resiliency and fight. We've had some injuries that have derailed us at different times. We've played, I think, about 7 different lineups already this season, and most of it, if not all of it, based around availability. And so we'd love to be better, sitting better than 6-6, but with where we've been, and even considering last year where we were, I think 2-10 at this time, being 6-6 going into Valley play and having quite a bit more confidence than we did last year at this time, I think bodes well for us. And so, yeah, I just think the heart that these young ladies have shown and their ability to adapt through adversity has been amazing so far. And I think it'll do us well as we get into conference play.
Couple of personal milestones here lately for individuals. Asia Green, 4 straight years leading you guys in blocks. First player since the 80s to do that at Missouri State. Also, she went over 500 blocks in her career this weekend. Why has she been so good for so long in that area for you?
She just has a nose for the ball, aggressively getting across. That's something that she takes a lot of pride in, is her blocking. And that says a lot for her. And she's, again, obviously she's really good at it. And I think that only 5 players in the history of this program, which has a great and rich history, have gone over 500 blocks. So, I mean, with one of those years being the COVID year where she didn't get a full amount, I know some people will say, well, she's in her 5th year. Well, when you average out the matches and all that, I mean, it's about the same as a 4-year deal. So really impressive for her to do that.
The other one, coach, was Tegan Polkovich, your libero. You got the net presence with Asia. You've got the back row presence with her going over 1,000 digs. I know it's a big sample here, but are there 1 or 2 or maybe 3 that stand out of those 1,000 plus where they kind of run through your mind as, wow, that was a really good get for Tegan in the back row?
Well, I mean, you saying that, I mean, it's amazing how many balls she chases down, how many times you're waiting and you see maybe a set or dump or somebody tip, and you're just expecting the ball to hit the floor, and here Tegan comes flying out of nowhere and the ball's up, and it gives our team just a ton of energy when she makes those plays for us. And her freshman year, I mean, I think she set a MVC tournament record with, I think it was 40 something in a 5-set match. So she's been doing it for a while, and she's also one that lost part of a year, if not most of a year, with an injury as well. So amazing player, great effort. And like you said, we love having Asia on the front row and Tegan on the back row, because they both give us a chance when they're out there playing.
You mentioned Tegan in the Valley tournament. Of course, that's something I'm sure people in the Springfield community are pretty excited about. You guys get to host during Thanksgiving week for the Valley tournament this year. What will it take for there to be a hometown champion and for you guys to run through conference play and be the one to lift the trophy at the end of it?
We're going to need to get a lot more consistent. And our number one goal is just to be in it. Last year we had, like I said, a rough year and we didn't make it. So we're locked in on that first, and obviously locked in on this Friday to compete with Valpo. We can't get ahead of ourselves, worried about the tournament if we don't take care of business on a daily basis to get ourselves ready and put in a position to just be in it. You know, Drake, UNI, UIC are all had tremendous non-cons, and SIU. I mean, I think the ones that the poll predicted by the coaches early are all showing why we all thought they'd be where they are. But we know, Lord willing, that we can get healthy, that we can compete with anybody. Even when we had a struggle of a season last year, there were so many times that we lost in the 5th set. So we know we can put ourselves in positions to win, and being able to host here is an honor. And hopefully we get the opportunity to defend our home court in that tournament.
What would you say makes Hammond Student Center special?
Our fans, and again, the history of the program as well. For years and years, when teams came in here, I mean, it was just expected that they were going to lose, and we're trying to recreate that for sure. We need to bring that back here, that pride in our building, in our court. We have a great student section that they come out and support us, and great community support. And this community understands volleyball, and I've been at a few places where that hasn't necessarily been the case. So it's really nice to have that. We've got a lot of good high school programs in the area, and I think that kind of feeds into it.
Coach, I always like to close with one about you and your personal background. We were talking a little bit off camera about life as a dad, with 3 kids, Jackson, Nathaniel, Molly. What's one of the best interactions that they've had with this group in particular?
Well, one thing with our team is they're just so inviting for sure. But as far as my kids, and the biggest thing when I made the transition from Ole Miss to here, as my wife and I were looking at places to land next, was we wanted a place that we knew would be great to raise a family. And Springfield has been every bit of that. And my kids love it here. Getting to watch Jackson's 18, and he's learned how to drive here, and now he's become independent. And Molly's 15. She's about to go through the same thing. They love their high school at Nixa, and just such a loving community here that we are very grateful that we landed here at Springfield. And for my kids to be able to grow up in such a great community is a blessing. And as coaches, sometimes people just don't understand how much you miss with your kids. And so I'm grateful to have kids that understand as much as they can my job, and love me despite the times that I have to miss from time to time. But yeah, just they are a big part of my world, and love them so much.
Glad to have you and your family in the Valley, Coach. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
That's At the Net with Missouri State.